Well, it's time for the Daily Greek, and we're in Acts 1:8, which by some reckoning is the key verse of Acts. Others divide up Acts differently, but certainly this does give an outline for the book of Acts because it talks about how first there'll be witnesses in Jerusalem. That's the first 7 chapters of Acts. And then in Judea and Samaria, that's chapters 8 through 12 of Acts. And unto the end of the land, unto the end of the earth. Well, that's chapters 13 to 28. So it is a kind of blueprint of the geography of the book of Acts. And of course, histories often use geography as an organizing principle, or could. So anyway, that's in the video for the week of a little bit of interpretation. Let's do the Greek. So start by trying to pronounce this. Using the Erasmian pronunciation, here's how I would pronounce it. Allah, lempsiste, dunamin, epelthontos, tu hagiu, pneumatos, ephumas, kai esestemu, martures, ente, Jerusalem, a lone word. This is Jerusalem, of course, Hebrew word. Kai en passe, te, Judea, kai Samaria, kai heos escatu, tes geis. Okay, so there you have it. Now, how do you translate it? If you know how to translate a little bit, give it a shot. And here's how I would translate it. But you will receive power, the Holy Spirit coming upon you. So this is what's called a genitive absolute in Greek. You have a noun in the genitive, pneumatos, and you have a participle in the genitive, epelthontos. And so the noun in the genitive becomes the subject, and the participle becomes the verb. And you have, but you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you. And of course, you have upon both in the participle and as a self-standing preposition. So coming upon you, of course, that's, you just translate it with one upon. You will receive power, the Holy Spirit having come upon you, when the Holy Spirit has come upon you. And you will be of me witnesses. You will be witnesses of me, or best practice in English is to say, you will be my witnesses. Te is a postpositive procrastinator. It actually comes here. Now, in English, we don't say both and. We just say both and if there are two things. But hey, Greeks can do whatever they want. So we really don't have a good way to translate it. Both in Jerusalem and in Judea and Samaria and in the ends of the earth. Those are 3 things. We don't use both for 3 things. But anyway, such as it is, you will be my witnesses both in Jerusalem and in all the Judea and Samaria. Notice that the fact that there's a single article here suggests that Judea and Samaria are being conceived as a single part of so there are 3 things here. Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, the ends of the earth. And this article here, there's only one article. There's only one on Judea, not on Samaria. So Judea and Samaria are being conceived here as a chunk, as a together whole. I guess you could do both in Jerusalem and Judea, Samaria, even unto the end of the land or unto the end of the earth. Again, they didn't think of earth as a globe. There's a little paradigm difference there. Okay, well, you know what it means. So let's look at the interlinear. So the interlinear here is, but you will receive, this is the irregular, as we'll see on the next page, of lambano. Ste is the second person plural. Luomai, lue luetai, luometha, lueste. So it's a second person plural ending. The epsilon indicates it's indicative. Then a psi is the key to hidden sigma. And a sigma indicates the future. So it is a future middle, because the future passive has its own thing. So it's a future middle indicative. From what word is it, though? Well, from years of practice, I know that lambda, a vowel, mu, and a b kind of sound, bs, you know, it's a lip sound crashing with the sigma. This is lambano, basically. And it's lambano happens to be deponent in the future tense, which means in the future tense, it looks middle, but it's actually active in meaning. So this is a future, anyway, the parsing's on the next page. You'll receive dunamis, dynamite. No, you'll receive power, accusative, feminine, singular. And I've already mentioned that this is a genitive absolute construction. The Holy Spirit is the subject of this little clause here. The Holy Spirit having come upon you, when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and you will be. So this is another esthe, another you plural, another second person plural. The future form here is esomai. It's the future of a me, and it's deponent, I guess, except the be verb isn't really active, middle, or passive. It just is. I leave a dash in my parsing in terms of voice because it's a be. It's not a do. But y'all will be of me the witnesses. This is nominative, masculine, plural. After a to be verb, you don't get a direct object. You get a predicate nominative in this case. So this is nominative. The reason why N has an accent is because te is a freeloader. And so the N is forced to pick it up. Both in Jerusalem and in all the Judea and Samaria and unto the last of the earth, unto the end of the earth. So there you have the interlinear. We've pretty much done the parsing already, but let's talk about it here. So I've already said this is future because of the hidden sigma. There's a s there that makes it future, middle deponent, middle ending, but it's not lampsomize the deponent future of lambano. How do you know that? You just have to memorize it. I mean, there's a lot of little brain spaces that need to be taken up for Greek. Indicative, second person plural from lambano. There's what lambano looks like. This participle, okay, my aunt is an active participle. So I got the active participle from the aunt part. How did I know it was aorist? Because I've just memorized elf. Elf is just the aorist of erkomai, and I've just memorized it. It's genitive because the masculine singular, the masculines of participles follow the third declension song, are kon, antas, antianta. So this is a genitive singular masculine in that paradigm. Okay, from eperkomai. It's a genitive absolute. You have a noun in the genitive going with the participle of the genitive. Just to remind you, what is a genitive absolute? Greek has to have endings. It has to. And so what do you do when there's nothing in the main clause that tells you what to put the ending? So, like, for example, if you were to say, Ken doing the video, the moon blew up. Well, there's nothing in the main clause, the moon blew up, that would tell us what to put case, what case to put Ken in, or what case to put making in. And so they did eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and decided to put it in the genitive. So when you have an expression like Ken teaching, the moon blew up, they put Ken and teaching in the genitive case because they didn't know what else to do with it. They cast lots for it, just making it up. So it's an adverbial participle, doesn't have an article on it. And genitive absolutes tend to be circumstantial participles. That is, they tell the circumstances of something. So you'll receive power under what circumstances? Well, when the Holy Spirit comes on you, of course. Esistes, I already said, is future indicative from a me. Doesn't really have a voice because it's a being verb. It's not active or passive. And there we have it. And we have reached the end of our verse for today. The key verse of Acts, maybe, Acts 1:8.